Greetings and salutations. Welcome to Knife Chats with Tobias. Hi everybody, hope you're doing well. Tobias here, and I am just doing whiz bang great. And showed you this knife already earlier when I was talking about eagle eye knives. This was a Frost Gator, supposedly in genuine worm groove bone, but obviously it's a blue smooth bone. And when I was showing this knife before, I had mentioned that there were several problems with it, but in spite of those problems, if one was in white smooth bone, I would probably pick it up as well. And well, I did. I've got one now in white smooth bone. And there's some significant differences between these two knives. Well, to me, they're significant. To you, they're probably like, really? Those are eye-rolling minor differences. But in any case, one of the things I mentioned in this video before was that I bought it because I really liked the way it looked. But then when I got it, the blade was very difficult to open. I did some cleaning, basic cleaning and some oiling, and got the blade working a little bit better. But since then, what I did was I threw it in my ultrasonic cleaner for about 10 to 15 minutes, and there were a few things that changed in it. Number one, the opening is much better than it was before. Also, the closing. So there was a lot of grit and grime in the pivot. I've got to oil it again because now it's completely dry. I think it'll work even better once I get it oiled. In any case, the other thing that I noticed when I had thrown it in there for a good 10 to 15 minutes in the ultrasonic cleaner, the bone changed color a little bit, and the water inside the ultrasonic cleaner had turned somewhat green. And that wasn't from the dirt, not something I normally see with the ultrasonic cleaner either. But what it was is it actually leached some of the dye out of the bone, and you can kind of tell that here. This side is a little bit darker than this side. Might throw it back in there a little bit more and see if I can leach it to get closer to the same color. And also now it is kind of it's hard to see on the camera here, but it is a little more of a bluish green instead of that darker Caribbean blue that it was originally. It's not nearly quite as dark of a blue. It's got more of a greenish tint to it now. So it definitely changed the blue in the bone. Still looks gorgeous, but yeah, the ultrasonic cleaner took out some of the color in this bone. But a small price to pay for a knife that is functioning a little better. Now, on to the next one. This is the Bear Hunter. Now, as I mentioned before, this one was called the Gator. This one was called the Bear Hunter. And we see here it is in white smooth bone. And I was worried how this one was going to be opening and closing when I first got it. This one opened really smoothly right from the beginning. Now, this one was also probably used. I did not get it in a box. This one was called the Gator. It came in the box. This one was bought secondhand off of eBay. Both of these were bought off of eBay, but this one was bought new in the box, or as new old stock in the box. This one, it doesn't appear to have been used at all, but the action on it was much better. I also threw it in the ultrasonic cleaner and cleaned it out a bit afterwards. Didn't make a significant difference in opening and closing on this one, but now I do also have to re-oil both of these. I think I'm going to do that right now, and I'll be right back. Okay, we are back, and I tell you what, that little drop of oil on the pivot made all the difference in the world with these knives. They actually operate much better now. It's going to work even better tomorrow once that oil is actually seeped into all the little cracks and crevices in that pivot. So this one is so smooth now. This is going to be fantastic. This one still has a little bit of a rough spot, but by tomorrow I got a feeling it's going to be opening quite easily. there are some other differences between these knives. Like I said, to me, they're kind of big. For most people, it's going to be minor. But the thing I noticed right away with these is, well, this one is just overall thicker in the handle all around. About a 1/16 of an inch thicker. I actually broke out the old caliper here and put it, let's go right in the center here. I'm going to just drop it like so and squeeze in. Okay, so there's the size of it. And if we put it on this knife now, you can see, you see that rattle around a bit? It just bounces all over the place. But on this knife, it was quite tight. So there is definitely a thickness to this handle that you don't have on this one. About a 32nd of an inch on either side, or about a 1/16 of an inch overall. And that is all the way from top to bottom is here. See there and there. Both have the brass liners. Now this one, the bone really picked up or the die really picked up the texture in the bone here, and got to wipe it off a little bit because of the oil now. But the bone really picked up the die really picked up the grain in the bone. This one, it is very difficult for me to say 100% that this is actually bone. I've looked at it under magnification, and I'm not really seeing that grain that I'm used to in bone. I'm not saying it's not bone, but it could very well be a smooth white synthetic. And as I do not have the original packaging for it, I do not know how Frost sold this knife. I don't know if they sold it as white synthetic, smooth white synthetic, or if they sold it as a white smooth bone. The person who was selling it secondhand did say it was bone. Let me try and zoom in here, see if we can see any grain. Okay, I can see lines and stuff, but I don't know if that's truly the lines of the bone, you know, the grain in the bone, or if those are lines from people smoothing out the synthetic white. Usually you can see some of the grains here, and that might be that, but that could also just be, again, tool marks, or, you know, cuts from them cutting the synthetic white. So not 100% sure this is bone. There is an easy way for me to find out, and that would be to heat up a needle and poke it into there. If it smells like burning plastic, then you know it's not bone. If it smells like hair, then you know it's bone. It's not that big a deal for me to worry about that, so it's not something I'm going to be doing, because when you do that, you do scar it a little bit. For right now, I'm just going to leave it as it is and assume that it might not be bone. The other thing that might change any case is if some of the oil leaks into the pivots or into the pin joints here, you might see some discoloration. And if that happens, then it is almost likely going to be bone. So because the bone will actually soak in some of that oil, and then it'll change color of the bone, and then sometimes the oil will seep back out and the bone will return back to its original color. We'll see if any of that happens. In any case, let me zoom back out real quick. But as it is, this is a pretty good one. I like it. Obviously, as you can see here, the blade is not 100% down the middle, but it is also not wrapping on the side or doing any of that stuff. Also another difference I noticed with this versus the Gator, this Bear Hunter has a satin finish on the blade, as opposed to the Gator, which has a mirror polish. You can tell that from the fingerprints here. So there's a difference in the blade finish on these knives too. But otherwise, they are basically the same knife. This one obviously says Frost. Let's zoom in again. Let's get this like so, and we'll look. So here we see the Frost Eagle and Frost Cutlery right there. And on the back side, we see German stainless. On this one, with the Bear Hunter, got Bear Hunter clearly stamped in there. And then on the back side, we have Soligen stainless 440. So this is an actual 440 stainless steel out of Soligen, Germany. The Bear Hunter itself is a Frost name brand, or a Frost brand, Frost trademark, however you want to call it. So that's what we have here, is the Frost trademark. As you can see also up here, even though it is Soligen 440A stainless, it is a knife made in Pakistan. And again, with this one, I believe we can see it up there. I'm not sure if we can, but this one also is made in Pakistan, even though we cannot see it. I believe it's on the box though somewhere. Let's see here. Zoom in. That's how small it is. So yeah, Pakistan right there on the box. 14600 CBS, Pakistan. In any case, let's zoom back out and wrap this thing up. Oh, one more thing before we wrap it all up. There's also a distinct difference in weight between these two. This one, the blue one, the skinnier one, the thinner one, this one comes in right at 79 grams versus this one, which comes in at 92 grams. So there was also a definite weight difference in it, and you can kind of feel it in your hand when you're holding it. So a few differences between these two knives. Between the quality build, the quality of the build is about the same, but this one feels, well, a little more robust. Part of that is the weight and also the thickness. It feels more comfortable in the hand. And as I mentioned, it did have a smoother opening and closing right out of the get-go. So again, that might have been from the TLC of the previous owner as well too, though. This one was a little stiff to begin with, but it is working its way in. But it is also a lighter weight knife. So there is a difference between a Frost Gator and a Bear Hunter. I don't know what you call it. Bear Hunter Lockback. Both of these are otherwise a 4-inch knife closed and about a 7-inch knife with the blade extended. So pretty cool knives. Stick around. I'll show you some more information about them in the slides. And hope you enjoyed this, and talk to you again soon. Let me take just a second to thank you once again for dropping by and spending a few minutes here at Knife Chats with Tobias. I really do appreciate it, and I do appreciate any comments that you leave. So please remember to give me that thumbs up, and also don't forget to subscribe and ring that notification bell so you'll know when the next episode is up and running. Thanks again for dropping by. Really do appreciate your time here.